On Fox tonight, 200 National Guard troops are expected to be deployed at the ICE facility in South Portland after President Trump issued the order over the weekend. In response, Oregon Attorney General Dan Rayfield has filed for a temporary restraining order to block the deployment as part of an ongoing lawsuit. And the decision on whether the restraining order is granted will be in the hands of a federal judge. In fact, a hearing on the restraining order is scheduled for this Friday. We spoke to Lieutenant Colonel Stephen Bomar with the Oregon National Guard, who says at least 200 members are expected to arrive in Portland as soon as Thursday. Bomar says that they'll be stationed in multiple areas, including outside the ICE facility.
The responsibility is to protect federal buildings and the employees that will be inside those. Just keep in mind, it's still us. It's your friendly neighborhood guard person. People are leaving their employers right now to help support this mission.
Bomar was also able to confirm that all of the members who are being deployed to Portland belong to the Oregon National Guard. And as you heard him say there, if troops do arrive in Portland this week, Bomar says that they will be solely focused on protecting federal property and federal employees. Portland is the latest city to be named in President Trump's deployment of National Guard troops. The Trump administration says the move is to curb violence, but faith leaders are pushing back against that narrative. Fox 12's Leslie Dominique attended an interfaith ceremony tonight where leaders stood in solidarity against the president's deployment. She joins us now live from outside the ICE facility in South Portland. Leslie?
Yes, Pete, as you mentioned earlier, those troops could arrive to Portland as early as Thursday. But this evening, a group of faith leaders across the Portland metro area, they gathered in solidarity and with the hope that President Donald Trump will change his mind before that occurs. A song of solidarity echoes through the sanctuary of Northeast Portland's Augustana Lutheran Church.
I cannot tell you how wrong it is what's taking place in this country. And if we as people of faith don't stand up right now, which we've always done in the past, who will?
Pews filled with faith leaders and believers from different traditions gathered for what they call a peaceful resistance and a challenge to what they see as the administration's attack on immigrant communities and what is looming.
We're going to do a pretty big number of those people in Portland.
On Saturday, President Donald Trump announced his plan to deploy 200 National Guard troops to, quote, war-ravaged Portland.
He's creating his own scenario. It's a shame to have a president of the United States who would openly lie again and again by saying we're a city at war. We are not.
The move has faced pushback from state officials who filed a lawsuit to block the order, and from Portlanders and locals who say the president's description doesn't reflect the city they know.
As Portland's been rebounding from the COVID stress, this is just going to push things backwards, in my opinion.
Carol White joins others in song. A moment of hope inside the sanctuary, singing for peace in Oregon.
It's contagious, and hopefully positivity is more contagious than evil and hate.
Every attendee left with a copy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s 6 Principles of Nonviolent Direct Action, a call for Oregonians to embrace and share them, especially as protests continue outside of Portland's ICE facility and federal buildings across the state in days ahead.
That's our hope in Portland, that we will respond to what's coming at us with nonviolent direct action that will shame the others and not hate them, but love them, but hope they change their ways.
Aren't you proud of being an Oregonian? Let's show America how to do it the right way. How about that,
Now, we do know that Portland police made 2 protest-related arrests this weekend here at the ICE facility. Now, tonight you can see the scene. It's fairly calm out here. You have a smaller group of people, many seated, others just doing certain chants, but it's nothing violent out here to be concerned about. And of course, we will continue to keep you updated live from outside of the ICE facility as we await the arrival of those troops this week. For now, reporting in South Portland, Leslie Dominique, Fox 12 Oregon.
All right, Leslie, thank you. Some Oregon leaders support President Trump's call for troop deployment in Portland. Republican Representative Christine Drazen took to social media to say, quote, the ICE facility in Portland has been subject to months of dangerously chaotic protests that have put residents and federal agents in harm's way. The governor's assertion that there is no national security threat and the mayor's assertion that everything is fine is tone deaf. Earlier today, the FBI and federal partners served a search warrant on a home thought to be connected to a laser that was aimed at a Customs and Border Protection Agency helicopter. This morning, the FBI was assisted by Homeland Security and Federal Protective Services in searching the home. They say the suspect aimed a laser at that helicopter on Saturday. Agents made contact with the suspect as well as 3 others who were at the home. Officials say all 4 suspects are in the U.S. illegally, and they were placed into the custody of ICE. The laser that was allegedly used was found over the course of the investigation. Portland police are sharing more about their response to protests at the ICE facility over the weekend. Chief Bob Day spoke today after a night of large protests, saying that 2 arrests were made, 1 man and 1 minor, both charged with assault for allegedly beating someone on the ground with a stick. Day also said that these kinds of clashes were a major issue throughout the evening between pro and anti-ICE groups, but he emphasized that Portland does not need the presence of National Guard troops, and he says that his officers have the city under control.
Political violence is not acceptable, but violence in the city is not acceptable. But we will not accept or tolerate people coming down to South Waterfront for the purpose of engaging in violence.
Day also added that PPB will continue to monitor the area around the ICE facility. And while he is in communication with federal authorities about what his officers are doing, PPB does not assist federal authorities on federal property or with immigration enforcement. All of this activity is centered around that ICE facility in South Portland. And we want to give you some perspective as to how small and concentrated this area is compared to the rest of the city of Portland. So if you're not familiar, here is a map of the city of Portland. We've outlined the city limits so you can see the size of the city in relation to the rest of the area. Portland is about 145 square miles in size. That's smaller than Chicago, but slightly more than twice the area of Washington, D.C. And here is where the ICE facility is located in South Portland. We're zooming into the facility itself there. It's about the size of a city block, bordered by Bancroft Street and McAdam. The big takeaway here is that where everything is happening is very small in comparison to the rest of the city, where people are carrying on with their daily lives. Meantime, we are keeping a close watch on the developments at that ICE building. We'll bring you the latest information just as soon as we get it, and you can always follow this story anytime on our Fox 12 app.